Oh yeah, I can hear the. It's nice and clear. Oh hell no. What's the deal, y'all? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. What time you checking this out? Appreciate you for being here with me. It's beef season, and if you ain't been on the Instagram, you don't know what that's about. But I had to scrap a whole video because I feel like a sniper right now. It's probably a good idea to just stay out of my way because I'm taking shots in any and all directions. With that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope that you getting everything that you want out of life. This world is crazy, and the people in it are even crazier, man. My old, my old, what I want to call him. The old man that represents sage wisdom. This dude Ken, that used to tell me we used to have this back and forth. I was going through a lot of stuff in my life, and he was just telling me like, "See, this is why I'm telling you. You got to put on the whole armor of God." And I was like, "Man, I be trying." He was like, "Nah, see, that's your problem. You trying. You got to do it." So I understand the the whole mission of the adversary and how he like to attack and the things that I need to be on the lookout for. But, equipped with a lot of experience, that's making it a whole lot easier for me to respond to a lot of foolishness. Because I feel like I'm being tested in probably every way imaginable in every area and aspect of my life. And I know it's blessings on the horizon. There's a lot of good things coming for me. So it would make sense for me to be getting tested at this time. So that's why I did the best thing. Sometimes it's good that I'm not doing this live because I can pick and choose what it is I want to release. Sometimes it's cathartic to just get it out. It ain't necessarily for anybody else's consumption. But I'm not afraid to speak on a thing in my life. I'm not afraid to speak on whatever it is that I'm thinking. So don't be surprised. I got a whole lot of opinions that I can share, and I got my own platform to do it. So that's kind of one of the points of this thing is I do and say what I want to. I know it's strange for a whole lot of people that kind of used to me being a lot more uh, pliable, I guess. I used to be a whole lot more easy to manipulate at a certain point in my life. I was more so about like not ruffling feathers, not. I don't like problems, so I do a lot of things just to not have problems in my life. But to be honest, when you're doing that, you make more problems for yourself down the road, especially if that's not who you are. So, and trying to be so accommodating to so many other people, I kind of forgot about myself. And I know it's strange that I actually put myself first these days. A lot of people don't know how to respond to that, but it's rightfully so. Everything is in its proper place, and that's the way it needs to be. I'm a grown man. People gonna respect that, or they just gonna get out of my life. I have no problem removing you, and you're not gonna stop nothing I got going on. Like the train keeps rolling. So whatever, man. I'm really sick of people. Even on this internet, it's grown people still trying to find out who they are. They got internet personas. I've been stepping back from a whole lot of people. I really don't say much because with a lot of time and space in between, man, I don't know who they are. They really don't know me at this point. So, I've been doing my best job of just leaving people alone. It's not beef. It's just, man, you see a lot of people on different paths and journeys, and I wish them well. That's where I'm at with it right now. Good luck to you. That's how I feel about a whole lot of people, man. Just good luck to you. I don't. I mean, of course, I could say a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people, but for the most part, it's just good luck to you. You know, We can keep it like that as long as you keep it like that. And the minute you break rank, well, that's when this will get interesting. Because don't act like you don't know me. Satan is busy, and he is getting his praise everywhere. I find myself in a weird spot with that because, man, I was watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. How did I get there and correlate that with Satan? I'll explain. So, that's one of my favorite movies as a child growing up. I've seen that movie 100 times. But with my adult eyes, I was seeing something so different. It was like, wow, I can't believe I missed all of that when I was younger. So, of course, you got the famous boat scene, and that was chaotic. That was just a little peek into the evil, and he had everybody scared. There was a lot of illusions going on. You know that Willy Wonka was like just off his rocker. That dude had some issues to begin with. He said a lot of stuff backwards. Stop. Wait. Reverse that. You know. Um. But that's not even it. It was me. So for everybody that got a golden ticket, clearly he already knew where the golden tickets were, because as you find out later, this mysterious dude that keeps popping up and whispering in the kid's ear after they speak to the media, he got his little secret to tell him. Supposedly it's this dude named Slugworth, who is like his competitor, right? So with that going on, Charlie ends up being the last one to get a ticket, and they all get an invite. Oddly enough, it's all children that win, and they get an invite to the factory. It's this exclusive sneak peek into the workings and the makings of everything that's going on in there. And as they walk around, what I started to notice, because they all had like flaws, they all had like certain pitfalls. They kind of you find out it's a competition at the end, but they all had things that they ran into that kind of crossed them out. And the thing that was real sinister to me, I realized that he already knew what the weaknesses were, and he let the kids play right into them. So, with Augustus and the Chocolate River, you knew he was a glutton, and of course, well, all of the things that they were doing that were wrong, Willie would see it going on. He's just like, half-ass, stop, don't. It was real sarcastic. Like, he already knew what was coming, and he kind of set it up that way. So that's what really got me looking into just how sinister the character was. That, I don't know, it took a lot deeper turn the last time I watched it. And I just thought that was so crazy to me. It was like, dude, why in the world would you set these kids up knowing they're going to take the bait? They're going to fall for this anyway. It's like a sick joke he was playing on all of them. So you got the Oompa Loompas, they were just like his minions doing his bidding. Whatever it is he needed them to carry out, they did it. And, they got their little song to sing all the way. So it seemed like it's a lesson in all of this stuff. But you set them up. It's not like, something just, it's not just happenstance. This is orchestrated. They fell for the bait that you dangled out in front of them because you already knew what the weaknesses were. And then at the end, it's supposed to be this happy moment with Charlie, and he can move his family in because he won. But it was just sympathy for the devil. The grandfather wanted to turn the secrecy into Slugworth with the gobstopper. And, he just turned around and had a little sympathy for the devil, and all of a sudden, he gave him the keys to the kingdom. That was like my quick synopsis of this crazy movie that I enjoyed so much. It's, good music. It was really catchy to me when I was younger, but I had a whole different outlook on it when I was watching it as an adult. And it was just like, wow, Like I could never look at this movie the same again. I know we celebrating 50 years of hip hop this year, and I have never seen Satan praised so much in the realm of hip hop as I have this year. But it didn't just start here, and it's been all kind of signs throughout the decades as hip hop has progressed. It's really more akin to metal, the evolution of rock and how they got to metal with the, you know, I don't know. It almost turned into a parody of itself, but you got the Satan worshippers and all the different signs, and a lot of it you could see through like album covers. I've just been shoot. It's not just the music, but since we're on the topic of 50 years of hip hop, that's one of the things that made it so tough for me to enjoy the thing that I used to love. I was the kind of kid that, of course, I date myself a lot here recently, but I was the kind of kid that was sitting next to the radio with a blank tape, and I was making homemade mixtapes. I was listening to the radio stations. When certain songs came on, I tried to time them. All right, I didn't get it right this time. I got to wait for it to come back around because they're going to play it again. But I was trying to get the perfect recording going from the start to the finish, cut out any of the extra talk. Um, like I think the first album I remember buying with my own money was Mystical. Let's Get Ready. So all the way back to the end is where I started to build my own collection. Of course, when I was younger, I had things like um, the Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, Criss Cross, that kind of stuff. But when I got into hip hop, that's actually the first album I remember owning for myself. Um, I listened to a lot of Tupac, and I don't know, he was just always this deep dude to me. But on the other end, it's like, well, his story is deep. They try to cover it through these documentaries and everything, and I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time on Tupac. It's just like he's such a big figure in hip hop that his story is still big to this day. But even with one of my favorite rappers, Redman, he even told you there is a dark side. There's a dark side to hip hop. There's a dark side to rap and just the industry in general. And it's a thing that is not a conspiracy. It's just this thing that people choose to overlook. But it's been in our faces for a long time. So when I see, uh, man, what was the channel that was gearing up for Sam Smith's performance, talking about we're ready to worship? Um, people twerking on Satan. Man, this is it's going beyond crazy, and you got people that choose to be obtuse about it and say it's just artistry. It's just forms of expression, but the devil is in the details. And the crazy part is, the best way to hide something from somebody is in plain sight. They put it right in your face. And the more I listen to certain artists, I've been able to realize that some artists tell you they sell their souls flat out. It's outright. From Eminem to DMX, they just flat out said it. Kanye. On the other end, you have people that are more artistic about it. You got to catch it in the imagery. They're really good with their words, so they tell you, but it's in a more artistic way. I give them credit for that. They are like pretty creative, and they try to play with your mind. But I like my fractions reduced, so a lot of that I've been able to decode for myself, and it's really not that difficult. I don't argue with people a whole lot about this because, like, you either see it or you don't. You can choose to see it. If you're interested, of course, we can have that conversation. But I'm not a fool. And there's no reason for me to sit around and act like one. That's why it's been such a struggle for me over the last couple of years where I just stopped listening to rap altogether. The COVID period was what kind of reminded me all over again of like what's going on. Man, I got serious heartburn right now. It reminded me of what's going on in the background and how I got to a point where I just really couldn't I couldn't like ignore it no more. Um but it's not just in hip hop. I mean, all of our childhood stories, if you pay attention to that, they just turn into these dark versions of the stories that we grew up with. I think I saw Evil Winnie the Pooh. Didn't watch the movie, but I just mean um like a thumbnail. I'm just like, man, what is this? We making everything as dark and evil as we can possibly make it. In these times, it's like it's a celebration of evil. It's a celebration of the devil. Once people got to saying demon time, I said, all right, somebody's gonna have to explain that to me. At this point, I realized where it came from, and I don't even want to go there because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that from the people that follow that artist, just like that artist counterpart. I mentioned Do What Thou Wilt before. There's a very famous picture of a rapper with those words across his chest. If you know about where that comes from, it's back to a guy by the name of Aleister Crowley. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of his work has been cited and shown up throughout hip hop, and not just hip hop, because it's been rock as well, and um, back to Anton LaVey and the creator of the Church of Satan. Like this stuff is deep and it's like permeated through the industry. So at this point, I don't even know what to say because it's like I'm not even in the space of trying to convince people. It's just now I'm kind of like I'm almost in awe of just how blatant it is. It's like there's nowhere to run from it, and I don't know. It's like at this point you're making a choice, especially with people being so blatant. You making a choice to still consume this material, even when they tell you who it's for, even when they tell you what the motivation behind it is, where it's coming from. Like it's crazy times we living in. I actually never thought I would see this day as a child, but as I got older, I just started to see it for what it is. It's crazy that one of my favorite groups growing up was a group called 3 6 Mafia. That's 666 Mafia. What's the name of the record label? Hypnotize Minds. None of that is by accident, man. They know exactly what they're doing. But it just blew my mind at how obvious that was as a child, and it took me to grow into a full grown man to really conceptualize what that was saying. And with the sound of the music right now, they have a lot to do with where music took a turn. Like that Memphis sound that they created it's like it had a rebirth in hip hop. So they have a lot to do with that right now. It's just crazy. It was blowing my mind. Like I said, you would think like everything is so blatant now. I guess they have more creative ways of putting it into all of our faces and into our ears, but music is spiritual. And that's why they know they can hypnotize minds with it. Like from, the frequencies, it's a whole science to it. It's like it's underneath the surface. You know, that's like you think about a soundtrack to, um, you know, different scenes in a movie, or if you're trying to set a mood, you know how you can do that. This is the kind of music I need to play. Like, it's a real subconscious thing going on. So, with all of this, I'm just like, where do you stand on all of this? Have you noticed a shift and a change in the content and the way that it's being displayed to us? And and here we are again. I just wonder, do you even care? You would think that I know a lot of people feel like they're just stronger than that. That no matter what the content is, they'll always be stronger than that, whatever it is. But then you think about a certain soundtracks to somebody getting ready to go do a drive by, right? It's music for that. It's music to murder to. It's music to make love to. But we in the psychotic world out here. I've never seen bodies dropping at this kind of rate. I know we talk about Chicago and a couple of other places, but man, death is seemingly happening at a rapid rate these days. And I think a lot of that has to do with what's being consumed, what's hypnotizing our minds. Because people are not in their right minds anymore. And it's a lot deeper than just desperation. It's definitely some kind of catalyst for all of this stuff. So I don't know. My mind is kind of blown at the world that we live in, and I just wonder how you feel about that. Do you think? I know that you know everything has its time under the sun. There's nothing new, and it's like a pendulum that seems to swing back and forth. So, do you think we've seen the worst? Do you think it'll make a turn and go back in the opposite direction? Or are we headed for like even worse days ahead? That's what I'm kind of wondering today. Like, where do you stand on all of this? And I know, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't even know how I got from one thing to another. But like, here's where we stand today. I'm really curious about what people think about that. It's a conversation I want to have on a different type of level with some people, but for the time being, I'm asking you to leave it in the comments. Uh, this heartburn is kicking my today. So, yeah, it's good to be back in this space. I'm happy that you're here with me. I appreciate all of y'all. I love you, and I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta take some Tums, get some ginger ale. I gotta get something going because it's like I feel like it's an eruption going on. I'm out of here.